Hello and welcome to this video on the opportunities with YouTube cards. Here with JD on the WP Business Club. So we better back up a bit and talk about what YouTube cards are. YouTube created some overlays that could be used on the YouTube website and add text and content over the video after it had been produced, and they called these annotations. They gave you the options to add speech bubbles, to add notes, titles and labels. And they've been used to get people to link to other websites. They have to be an approved website, a website that you own under Webmaster Tools, or they might be to advertise the next video or just leave some general information. But one trick was missed because they never really work properly on mobiles. In fact, they were never going to work well on mobiles because of the way they were created. They would never work on a small screen. So YouTube cards are a redesign of the idea to add contents over the top of a video, but this way to make them more useful for mobiles and easier to use for mobiles. And when I talk about using on YouTube mobiles, I mean more of running the proper YouTube app on your mobile, not running YouTube videos through mobile browsers or viewing it through even YouTube on a mobile browser. These icons for cards look better on smaller screens and they work, whereas the annotations do not. But of course, what people really wanted to use was a call to action, a click to call. There's no click to call function on YouTube. Maybe if we all start using something, they will realise there's an opportunity there. But of course, it's taking you out of Google's and YouTube's sphere of influence. So click to call would be nice, but it's not there. But what you can do is you can use one of your associated websites, your websites that's been approved, and you can then put some code to launch a click to call service from that web page. So we've released a shortcode plugin, or a plugin with shortcodes to allow you to do this, called Tubetools, because it seemed to be the easiest way to produce something that lots of people could have a go and try and use. So it uses the call function to call a phone number. It uses the SMS function to start an SMS message. It can also use the SMS function to start an SMS and give the SMS message. And it can also open a pre-designed Google map. And just to really get you thinking about things, it also can at the same time drop in the tracking pixel. The ones we were using were Facebook ones. So how good is it? Well, it's not perfect because this is a workaround. It's a fix, it's a fudge, it's a hack, it is a workaround. It does not work everywhere, but it certainly works better than most people. And I've seen some code on the internet recently of people offering code to do this. Within a plugin, it's a much more secure environment to try and solve this conundrum. The tel command, the telephone command, works on most mobiles. It even launches desktops with Skype. The tel command is a pretty much supported and generic command used by everybody, and it works on most devices. The SMS works on many mobiles, but the adding the message bit doesn't get passed properly, so it's pretty disappointing, I think is the right word I want. It's completely useless on desktops. I haven't found a desktop application yet that will grab it and grab the SMS. And the maps part works perfectly because it's just dropping an iframe onto a web page and giving you the full screen effect of looking like you're on the Google Maps. And I think it's a great example of where we should be taking this option. And the tracking code seems to work fine as well. So why have I created a plugin and then say it almost works? Well, the basic handwritten JavaScript code is not going to be easy to implement anywhere. We needed something more secure and easier to look after. We also needed something that could be refined and improved later, and a plugin for WordPress obviously allows us to do that. We already found code to detect what systems were running, and we should therefore be able to make the plugin more intelligent so it reacts to the device that it thinks it's on. And we're already developing some apps for doing similar things like this, so it made sense to roll this out quickly. I say roll it out quickly, we've produced the plugin in 2 days. And that's from having no idea how to do it to finishing it. So the known issues at the plugin currently are the SMS is almost a waste of time, but it's there because people will ask about it, so it's there so you can see. I'm a bit concerned about what we should leave on the screen when we launch somebody off to a map or a phone, what they should be able to do later or afterwards. Should they go back to the YouTube? Should they stay where they are and have a message? So I'm looking for ideas of what we should produce there. And the other big known issue is a lot of hassle when you're testing and playing around with something, as we did. Most mobiles cache the page, they take a copy of the page. You can make changes, you can change the phone number if you've got the phone number wrong, change the message and whatever. And 9 times out of 10 the phone will not detect you changed the phone number, will just ignore you and carry on using the page that it was given first of all. So warnings, when you're playing around with this, mobiles do not keep up with you when you make changes. It's very annoying. So let's have a look at the desktop demo of the plugin as it is now, so you can see what it does, and then you can see how you can use it. So let me find, there we are. So there is one extra command which I haven't put in the presentation, so I'm going to tell you about it straight away. If you change the TT code action to help, you actually get a piece of help text similar to this, but without that spelling mistake, and it will remind you of the codes. So this is a quick way to find out what the latest codes are supported on your version of the plugin. So we have 4 page examples here. So the Google Map one launches a blank page and puts a full-size Google Map over it. I should have done this without being logged in, because then you would lose the admin bar across the top. The phone launches the phone app, so in my desktop it goes for Skype. Most people wouldn't have to OK that because they have it automatic. And then on the other screen you can't see, I've got this pop up saying, do you want me to call this? And if I say OK, I can't remember if I'm recording the audio, but it's now phoning the number. So that even works on a desktop, which is fantastic. And the other thing you can do, which I said I would show, is the page of the code itself. So firstly, in the settings, you will see that we had some options at the top here to command it all, but soon found that there was a reason that I'd want multiple options on the same website, so we will probably drop that. What we did add though was the ability to drop in a Facebook tracking code. So if you do pixel equals 1 on the end of any of the phone maps commands, it's going to drop a tracking pixel on the same page, so you'll pick them up in a retargeting group from Facebook. So if we go to the pages, the phone call page for instance, so it's just a code, short code that you add, TT code action equals phone, the data, which is the phone number, and to make it even easier you'll see I've added an icon to ultimately drop the phone shortcode in, which you can then edit. If you want to use SMS or map, you just change the code around and update it, and then when that page is next launched it will then change the phone number. As I said, If you change your phone number and you then launch it on a phone, if that phone has already seen this page with different codes on it, it will, most of the time, it will ignore the changes and just act on the previous version of the page. Doing refresh and control refresh and all those sort of things on mobiles and phones is a lot harder and is not obviously supported. So that is a real annoying thing when you're testing code and testing if something works, if it keeps misbehaving. But that is basically all there is to it. So it's a piece of code which takes the user, where they jump onto your website, off to make a phone call. And most of the time, for click to call, this is going to work. And certainly compared to the example of having a YouTube video with a phone number in a big box, this is a much better alternative. So thank you for watching and listening, and I'm looking forward to seeing what sort of things you get up to using it.